Hi, Josh. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for giving your time today. So, as an IT expert, I have quite a number of questions that I wanted to ask you, and in particular because of everything that we're going through at the moment with the whole COVID-19 situation. Before we get into that, would you be able to give everybody listening or watching a bit of an overview of what Assett does and what your role is within the organisation as well, for those of people who don't know you as yet?
Sure, yes, thanks. Firstly, thanks for having me or having Assett. Assett specialise in the supply and ongoing management of copier and printer fleets, IT infrastructure, and in particular cybersecurity solutions. So we enable our clients to realise their full potential by helping them develop a business technology and services roadmap, which is aligned specifically with their goals and objectives.
Fantastic. No, that's really important. And it's fantastic to have an organisation such as Assett on board as an i3net member. And thank you for giving out your time to the membership today. So really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
So one of the questions that I had for you is that with more people now than ever working from home because they need to as a requirement, is there an increased cyber security risk to businesses because of people working remotely?
There is, yeah. Today, the risk is probably greater than ever. Historically or traditionally, IT providers have had control of a company's technology resources. That's now changing. Now people are working from home, using either their company supplied devices or even their own personal devices, and that might be tablets and laptops and mobile devices and things. So what that means is that the individual employee is now the weakest part of a network. So ensuring your employees are aware of cybersecurity threats and how they can stay protected is pretty important. And one of the key differences, and one of the things that Assett actually offers as a scheduled monthly cybersecurity training. What we can do is deliver that training through short and easy to digest video clips.
Okay.
With a quiz at the end, even at the end of that quiz, you get some certification too.
Right. That's really interesting, actually. I haven't heard of that before, so that's a great service that you guys do.
Yeah, make sure that the weakest links within the business have that knowledge of how to navigate safely. That they're out and away from their IT people.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And so if people find out they are at risk, then what can they actually do to minimise the risk that they might find themselves in?
Probably one of the most important things to do, or the first things to do, is to speak to your IT provider about your concerns. We can perform free network assessments where we review and measure your current situation against best industry practices.
Right.
Another really great resource, if you're not already aware of it, is the Australian Government's Stay Smart Online website. Another thing you can do there is to even subscribe for the latest updates. And if you were to pop on there today, you would see that there's quite a significant increase in COVID-19 related scams.
Right.
And there's information in there about those scams and what to look out for. But a lot of information in there too for people about how to protect themselves online.
Definitely. I've certainly myself noticed quite a few scams, and it's not only coming through on email, but it's also coming through on text messages on my phone as well. So I suppose it's not just computers and laptops, it's also work mobile phones that are getting those scams as well.
And it's preying on people's hunger for information. So you're seeing things that are coming from what look like reputable government sources, World Health organisations or whatever it may be, with a more information or a link to find out where you can be tested. So, people are more susceptible. They're not, we haven't got their head in the game as much because they see that and think, oh, great, I'll jump in. And the next thing you know, you've got a crypto virus or something, infecting your computers and so on.
Yeah, it's very serious. What are the main challenges do you think businesses are facing now that, nearly 100%, or for some businesses, are working remote?
I guess what we're probably seeing is that businesses, the biggest challenge is probably businesses not staying current with technology and trying to use their old technology in a modern way.
Mm.
Businesses that have had the smoothest transitions to working from home had already moved to using cloud-based services such as Microsoft 365 or
Mm-hmm.
Windows virtual desktop infrastructure, and more forward thinking in their approach towards technology in their businesses. So like a basic example of that, can include replacing your traditional desktops with laptops for each employee. So people that were in an environment where they're all desktop based,
Mm-hmm.
had to scramble and get laptops and things for people. And what we found was there was a lot of probably last minute purchasing of laptops to get people. So supplies were running out. Very difficult to get those people set up and going. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose, I know we're in this at the moment and we're dealing with it, but often in these situations, it's also good to think about the future as well. And so how do you think, or what do you think businesses should do in order to be prepared for similar situations in the future?
Probably the first thing is to encourage a modern workplace culture for your business. This can include implementing work from home arrangements and moving your software applications and workload to the cloud where possible. There's a lot of technology changes in those spaces at the moment. And don't be afraid of subscriptions. Some businesses buy software outright and use it for as long as for so long that it becomes unsupported, which then introduces security and compatibility issues. Most, if not all, software providers are moving to a subscription-based model where your applications are always updated and protected against threats. Probably another thing is to sort of not do it yourself, not have a DIY approach to your IT infrastructure, and perhaps engage an IT company to become your trusted advisor. They should be doing regular, quarterly at least, technology audits of your business and keeping you up to date with the latest trends and the latest technologies. So you can focus on what your key business is and you have your trusted technology advisor working with you on keeping you up to date on these things. The other thing to sort of think of is having, clear boundaries for your staff so that when they do work from home, you've got company policies in place surrounding use of technology and how to use it safely.
That's some really, really good tips. Thank you. What do you see the long-term effects of COVID-19 on the workforce from your perspective?
I'd say after the dust settles, I think you're going to find that there'll be a large distributed workforce. Some of those mental barriers that were, business owners had regarding working remotely could potentially be broken down, which will then provide, huge benefits to business. They'll have a better access to a greater talent pool. So there won't be physical location barriers of employees. So it's not going to be a limiting factor so much in the future. Businesses reduce their footprint in their office and have people working more remotely and working from home where they can.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's great. And I suppose you're finding yourself working from home more than you used to before. Do you have any tips for people about how to work from home effectively?
Making sure you've got a good internet connection. So, you've got family that wanting to, you've probably got your kids at home too, people that have kids and they're wanting to stream. I mean, they're doing their classroom work now too, as well as streaming videos and things like that. And you're trying to hold video conferences. So making sure you've got a good, strong Wi-Fi connection. You've got a good, strong internet connection. And then having sort of a modem that's able to have multiple connections as well, multiple users, connections. You're printing from home as well. So a lot of people sort of scrambled to get printers and gone out and bought a cheap printer from Officeworks, and often they don't have very good scanning capabilities. So you're limited. Some of those don't have duplex scanning capabilities or double-sided scanning capabilities, and they can often be very expensive to run to printer cartridges and things as well. So just considering what the ongoing costs of running those are as well versus being on a managed plan for those sorts of things. Yeah,
it's not just get the cheap printer. It might be the ink cartridges that are very expensive as opposed to looking at it as a complete package.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's probably the other things too around, avoiding overworking and having scheduled breaks, or underworking, being distracted by, you know, the news in the background with your COVID-19 updates and social media and things. So probably trying to schedule yourself some time to have work time and break time, and keeping your attention on, you know, your work.
Yeah, definitely. No, they're great tips. Thank you. And probably the last question that I had for you is, I suppose for people who either don't currently have a person to support them with their printing and IT support, or perhaps they do and they're not happy with the service that they're currently getting, or even some people might just want a second opinion. They might think everything's going okay, but they're just not sure. What can Assett provide?
Yeah, so I guess talking to us initially, making contact. We can do a bit of a review for free. There's no cost involved in reviewing what your current situation is and how that measures against best practice, but just hearing what your concerns are and you know, the kind of things that keep you up at night, and then we work on solutions to those problems. So that's around IT and cybersecurity, so managing your IT and giving you the right advice about your IT, and having it set up with a business grade solution and not just a, you know, sort of small home office solution. We're focused more on managing and maintaining a good, reliable network infrastructure, as opposed to doing break fixes where you only call someone when something's broken. So we sort of avoid those emergency requirements where it's broken, I need it fixed right now. We work on a scheduled maintenance sort of model, where we're keeping you up and running.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So it goes with your managed print services or your network assessment and that sort of thing too.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I think, as you're right, you want your business to run. You don't want it to just break down randomly. And by having an expert team behind you, that's certainly the way to do it. So that's fantastic.
Continuity and uptime is very important.
Definitely. No, that's great. Thank you. They were all the questions that I had on my list. Did you have anything further that you wanted to add at all at this time for the members?
Not for the moment. Just good luck out there, everybody, in this changing work environment that we're all facing. And just wish everyone the best of luck with everything.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Josh. Really appreciate your time.
No problem.
Thanks.